This video is about all the different types of characters we can find in stories and novels. Characters make the stories. Without characters, there is no story to tell, only a lot of scenery. It's like looking at people's vacation pictures. We want to see the people in the pictures, not just the scenery. The following definitions will help you identify these characters in stories and novels that you read. But why do we need to identify the types of characters in stories? Well, authors use many different types of characters to tell their stories. Each of those characters serves a specific purpose in the story. They all have different roles. In other words, the plot and resolution of conflict revolve around these characters. Characters allow the reader to become a part of the story. We can experience the plot with them and increase our enjoyment in the reading of the story. The most important characters in stories, the main characters, are 1. The protagonist. This is the main character around which the whole story revolves. The decisions made by this character will be affected by the conflict provided by the second type of major character. Number 2. The antagonist. This character or group of characters causes the conflict for the protagonist. The antagonist could also be a part of nature, such as an animal, the weather, or a land feature like a mountain or river. There are other characters in stories as well. These are the minor characters. They are not as important as the main characters, but they still play a large part in the story. Their actions help drive the story's plot. They may impact the decisions the protagonist makes, either helping or interfering with the conflict. They include dynamic characters, static characters, round characters, flat characters, and stock characters. Dynamic characters are characters who change over the course of a story or novel. The change in outlook or character is permanent. Sometimes a dynamic character is called a developing character. On the other hand, the static character remains the same throughout a story or novel. Events in the story do not alter the static character's outlook, personality, or habits. Their use may be to create or relieve tension. Flat characters can be described in one or two traits, usually all positive or all negative. They don't have much to say about them. Their character flaw or strength has its use in the story. While round characters can be described with a number of traits, they are well-rounded and are thus more interesting. The stock character is a special kind of flat character who is instantly recognizable to most readers. They can be described with stereotypical traits. Authors can go into a stock room and pull out this character for their stories. For example, the absent-minded professor is a stock character. Most readers will know what traits describe the absent-minded professor. The stereotype is an older man in a white lab coat with ruffled white hair and glasses. Other stock characters might be the faithful sidekick, the wise man or woman, or the ambitious career person. An easy way to remember some of these characters is to notice that dynamic and static characters are the opposite. One changes and develops, and the other doesn't. Another set of opposing characters are round and flat characters. One has many traits, and the other doesn't. Finally, a character foil is a character that is used to enhance another character through contrast or by their differences. They have opposite character traits from another, and these differences help highlight or bring out another's positive or negative side. For example, Cinderella's kindness, grace, and beauty, as opposed to her nasty, self-centered stepsisters is one clear example of a character foil. Characters are the whole reason for any story. They can be used to help teach a lesson, to entertain, to educate, and even to persuade, depending on the author's goal for the storyline. Characters can be based on real people and events or be totally unrealistic, like monsters under the bed. People become attached to characters as if they are real, may develop favorites, and relate to those that have faced similar situations. This makes the whole reading experience more enjoyable.